Most people treat New Year like it's some type of magic switch, but by February, 80% of us, if not all of us, have already gone back to our old habits. The difference here is not anything to do with willpower, but it's got everything to do with clarity. You see, journaling is one of the single best things that you can do for your mindset and opening up that clarity by closing a bunch of open tabs, so to speak. But most people struggle or quit journaling because they make things too complicated. Well, today I want to show you a sustainable journaling practice that you can incorporate into your life right now and use it all throughout 2026. Even if you have zero time and you totally despise writing, I can promise you this system will work for you. Before we grab a pen or do anything at all, we first have to fix your mindset. And what we're doing with this system, we're not writing a novel, we're simply just taking our thoughts and putting them onto a piece of paper. Think of your brain very similar to a computer. All your to-do lists, all your thoughts, all your ideas, the things you got to do for work or dinner, all of that is up here. And just like a computer, the more things that you have going on at one time, the more things start to slow down and not work so good. So what we're going to do is to take all the things that are going on up here, get them out onto a piece of paper. And I say this all the time. Your brain is really great at processing information, but it's not so good at storing it. A journal is a great place to store that information so that you can process it later on when you actually have time to do so. Now, there's three things I want you to think about here when we jump into journaling. Number one is your notebook, number two is your pen, and number three is the location where you're actually going to be doing your journaling. With the notebooks, you don't want to get anything too expensive that you're not actually going to use it or write in it, but you also don't want to get something that's so cheap that it doesn't feel good to actually be writing in it. So if you're looking for something in that kind of affordable range that's not too expensive, but it is also pretty nice to write in, Moleskine is a great brand to do things like that. And even to some no-name brands that you can find at places like Walmart or Target or Books A Million or wherever. Just make sure it's something that's going to feel good for you to pick up, that you're actually going to write in it. And the next thing is the pen, which is very important to me. If I don't have a pen that I feel good writing with, like if I just have a standard Bic ballpoint pen, I'm not going to enjoy that experience. And quite frankly, I try not to write with those pens at all because I don't like the way that they write. But what I use is a Pentel Energel, so I really like gel pens. But the problem with a lot of gel pens is they smear and they get ink all over your hand, and you don't necessarily want that. These pens are not really bad about doing that. I will still get a little bit of ink, but it dries fairly quickly and it writes very well. It doesn't tend to bleed through, so just make sure you pick out a pen that feels good to you. These are fairly cheap. I don't know, like $1 or $2 a piece at the store. They're really easy to find, and I'm not sponsored by them. I just like them. And then the third piece here is finding yourself a good environment so you can actually take some time to journal. But you want to make sure that you're in a space where you're not going to get distracted. Somebody's not going to just walk in and start talking to you, because as you're streaming these thoughts out of your mind onto a piece of paper, the last thing you want is to be interrupted, and then you have to figure out where you left off and then jump back into the system. But you also want to make a space that's cozy and inviting, so you could do things like lighting a candle, you could set certain mood lighting, you could have a little bit of background music, whatever is going to help you to enjoy the process and actually do it. Now, we move on to step number 2. If you just sit here and stare at a blank page, you're going to fail. So here's a short framework that you can use that's going to help you out. Number 1, clearing out. So write down one thing that is currently looping in your head. So for example, I'm worried about that meeting on Tuesday. If you've got these troubling thoughts that keep circling around, the best thing you can do is to get them out of your head and onto a piece of paper. So which ones are really looping around that you need to think about at some point, but now just really isn't the time? Number 2, think about things you are grateful for. Gratitude journaling is a great way to help you realize all the great little things going on in your life. And I'm not talking about things like that are way out of your control, but the things that happen in the day-to-day. Maybe one of your coworkers brought you a cup of coffee. Maybe you just really enjoyed a nice morning in bed with your partner. Maybe your dog did something really cute and you're very happy about that. write those things down. You don't have to do the gratitude stuff all the time, but I do find it's very helpful, especially when you're in times that you're feeling kind of upset or angry or have more of those negative emotions. Simply taking the time to write down things you're grateful for can really help. And number 3 is the intent. What is one thing that would make today a success? And just think about that. If you've kind of been going through a rut and it's been kind of down and out, what would make today better? What's something that would make today a success for you? Is it to get through the meeting? Is it just to get through the workday? Would it be to see someone or just knock some things off your task list? This is going to help you really start thinking about the things that are going on up here that are just way out of control. And then you can get it on paper so that you can start seeing these things, and then you can start processing and working on them. Here's the thing, and I'm going to be brutally honest up front. You're going to miss a day. You might miss 2. You might miss 3. It is okay. Because the one rule that I have for journaling is to make it my own and to use it when I need it, not to force myself. So if I don't feel the need to journal every single day, or something just comes up and I'm just so busy that I completely overlook it, you can't beat yourself up about that. Instead, reward yourself when you actually show up. And just realize that journaling is a tool. It is there for you. It's always going to be there. So if you can't make it one day, that's okay. And here's the thing to realize. Journaling isn't about just sitting down and writing for the purpose of writing. Journaling is sitting down and writing for the purpose and intent of getting more clarity, clearing out your mind so you can actively process the things that you're writing down. Because you could, in theory, just write all this stuff down, set it and forget it, but that's not really doing anything for you. You've really got to take the time to go back and review the things you wrote down so that you can work through those. Take it one thing at a time. Maybe you work on all the easy stuff first just to clear off that list and then tackle the harder things later. Or maybe you need to tackle those harder things first because they're causing you so much turmoil that it's not allowing you to do all the other things. So that's where you can start to prioritize all the different things that you have put on your list from up here to there. But no matter where you are on your journey right now, I wish you the best. And as always, be sure to create something new today.